pretty reasonable.
Oh, that's interesting.
So he's often setting a trap for people that they come bounding into.
Well, whether or not he's doing it on purpose or whether or not just by finding things that he can say that back up his point, he's starting that conversation off in a way that they wouldn't ordinarily start off.
It might have been what happened with Sweden, where he goes, look what happened with Sweden last night, on a particularly dead night in Sweden. Now you could say, look how many blacks died in gang warfare today in Chicago. It might be none today.
Right.
But the average this year is 2.
Right. And
so you look it up and you go, holy shit, 780 people died in Chicago this year?
Is today the 22nd? There was a significant event on the 21st in Sweden.
Massive last night.
Yeah. Look, Sweden has got problems. Europe has problems. They definitely do. And whenever you have people from one culture that immigrate into another culture and they're disenfranchised and poor, and they have really, I'm just going to keep going with it. And they also have a really restrictive, fucked up culture that they're coming from, and they want to impose that culture on the people that live in Germany or wherever, and they want women to start wearing long dresses, and they treat them like they're whores if they don't. That's all fucking real dangerous. They're from a different part of the world, and it's a part of the world that hasn't changed much in a long time. Yep. And that part of the world, I mean, you could call it culture, you can call it religious tradition, but whenever you're dealing with a part of the world that still has honor killings and female genital mutilation, and you don't let women drive, and women aren't allowed to vote, and you have this incredibly restrictive world that you're existing in, and then you bring that world somewhere else, you're going to have a culture clash, and you're seeing that. And this is if you want people to be free and you want people to have the ability to integrate into a more free culture like America is, you also have to be honest about what the consequences are. And you have to be honest about what kind of culture they're coming from. And as soon as you talk about that, you get labeled an Islamophobe. As soon as you talk about this incredibly restrictive, misogynistic culture that's based on an ancient series of rituals and beliefs, you become a racist and a bigot by talking about a reality. And
they're not a race. You're talking about culture. And it's important to make that distinction as a Western chauvinist, that I think the West is the best. I don't care what race you are. But I don't think that other cultures are different. I think they're worse. And Islam is 500 years behind us. We were shitty. We had witch hunts.
Inquisition.
We had the Inquisition. They're not caught up to us yet. They're not as advanced. And I think two big problems with them as far as progress goes is the Quran is an exceptionally violent book. It doesn't have a 2.0 the way Christians do. And no one ever talks about this, but they have a major problem with inbreeding. They are marrying their first cousins again and again and again, and that makes your evolution